Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, and fuck.
Leave it. Leave it.
I'll keep that. I'll keep that one going, but I'm gonna hit that start button again.
Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 226th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by ATEBIT.net, Audio Technica, and those legends over at Manscaped, but more on those guys and gals later. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, the GameStop to my AMC, my podcast, Ride or Die. Find her on them socials at Miss Ali Hart. How you doing this Friday afternoon / Saturday morning, Miss Ali Hart? What's going on?
Doing well, much like GameStop stocks, emotional roller coaster, right? Like, that has been crazy following that this week. It has been
What
wild.
a world we live in. These are these larger than life crazy film parodies and reimaginings of real life situations are actually playing out right in front of our eyes, and it's awesome to see the little person fighting up against these big corporate fat cats, and yeah, it's made for some good watch along. Have not got any of those stocks myself, but it's been a hell of a ride to sit and sort of watch from the background. That's for sure.
It's like I was bringing up before the podcast. It's like one of those instances where I think we may have spoken on the podcast about how their stock had gone to an all-time low. And, one of those opportunities where we should have probably taken advantage of that. Little did we know.
Yeah,
with Bitcoin.
Yep. Hindsight is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You gotta risk it for the biscuit, as they say.
Yeah.
And I've got a little tiny little stack of Dogecoin that I'm sitting on to see if maybe I can retire on the back of this weird parody crypto that is gaining traction because Elon Musk has given it some love and a bit of rub. So all I needed to do is just get to $1, and then I can pull out and have a good chunk of cash. Unlikely, it peaked at about 10 cents, but who knows? There's always a chance.
You have like this like really uncanny supervillain name now where we could call you the crypto collector. Like, it's you seem to just see what's out there and just grab a little from each kind, just to see what what succeeds.
Sort of walking down the crypto street and just sort of picking these little crypto flowers, like from each garden bed as I walk through. Like, I looked in my wallet the other day and I'm like, I've got like some Bitcoin share and stuff like that, like from a few years ago. And I'm like, torrenting and everything, that could maybe become more of a thing and maybe commoditize this coin, but like it never amounted to anything. I've had more misses than hits, that's for sure, with crypto, but you got to be in it to win it. And something that we've been very in this week is IO Interactive's new smash hit. We've both been smashing on our Xbox Series X's, the beautiful black obelisks. God, they're nice consoles. I love looking at that thing beside my television. It fits in very nicely with the decor. But Miss Ali Hart, this was your first Hitman experience, if I am correct, right?
That's right. I've never played a Hitman game ever. I'm familiar with it. Like, it's not foreign to me, but I myself never really had a hands-on experience. So this was my first one. This was my cherry pop.
So the cherry has been popped. Will IO have they been looking after you, enjoying your first experience here with Agent 47 and his various creative ways of killing many a person?
I had no idea what I was doing. Like I have the basic understanding of you have a target, you have to kill them, don't get caught, you know, like that basic premise. But what I didn't understand was that there was like all these other things that I was like unlocking and all these other stories that were like happening. And I'm like, wait, am I supposed to do that now? Or am I supposed to like, so I got a bit confused and a little bit flustered. I was pretty good at stealing people's clothes. Like, I give myself a credit to that. Yeah, and I just kind of got a bit flustered at the start. I wasn't 100% certain how I was meant to be following the story and essentially completing the mission. But, you know, second round, I figured it out. I did watch more playthroughs, so I kind of understood what exactly it was telling me. I figure it was giving me ideas of also ways to kill the person, right? Like, they're like, hey, you've heard someone talk about Ingram, he likes to play golf. So that's giving you a cue to be like, oh, this is a way you can kill him. I thought it was like I had to go play golf with him or something.
Oh, you're like, God damn it. Now I've got to
I
go tee
thought I
off.
was meant to be killing people. Now I've got to play golf.
Yeah, it's a tried and true formula that they've been using for the previous two entries. And with Hitman 3, it's sort of the wrap up of this trilogy. So it's the end of this Hitman saga that they're talking about. And
okay.
I'm with you. Like, I've played the previous two in this trilogy, as well as like the originals from previous gen as well. And the game's great, but it can be very daunting. It feels like sort of overwhelming because it drops you in these massive big living environments. Like there's 6 maps in Hitman 3 that you work through. And the first one that you drop into, you drop into like the tallest building in Dubai. Mm-hmm. And it's gorgeous for one. Like when you land and you're outside on one of these catwalks and just seeing the reflection of the sunset, and like there's people in hot air balloons and you're seeing all that reflect off this big glass building. Like, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous universe that they've put together for 3. But yeah, all they say is, you got to go kill these 2 blokes. Yeah. How you get there is up to you. What you do on the way to getting there is up to you. So that freedom of choice is awesome, but it's intense because there's so many different people you meet throughout these levels, like just random NPCs that obviously, you can knock down, like knock out or kill if you're that way inclined, and take their clothing and their access cards and keys and weaponry, whatever they've got on them, to get you into certain areas of the game. And it gets intense knowing, like, you know, should I be in the waiter costume here? Do I change to the bar staff? Do I knock out that guard to get the guard outfit? Do I just walk around in my suit? Do I, you know, all these types of things? Because when you're not dressed for the area you're in, obviously that triggers a bit of suspect feelings towards you from NPCs.
Yeah. Some questionable, like, outfits that should technically work. Like, if I'm a cleaner, I should be able to really go anywhere, right? Like, I'm cleaning, yeah? I don't know. There's a few times where someone kind of, like, shot at me because I was wearing the wrong clothes. Like, I thought I was wearing staff clothing, so that would give me more accessibility to areas, but I got shot because I was apparently not in where I was supposed to be. But speaking of, like, all these things that, like, kind of, like, show you and kind of, like just happen in front of you, I went through this whole, like, father-daughter moment, and I'm awkwardly standing there going, like, why am I experiencing this? Why am I witnessing this very deep and emotional moment between a father and a daughter? It's not like it took me anywhere. There wasn't an opportunity to kill someone there. It was just like I had to just witness a very, you know, emotional moment where a father's talking about leaving his legacy to his daughter, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's really well done in that the world feels very alive.
Lived in,
like, yeah. Every character you walk past or interact with seems to have their own little story. You know, some of them are fleshed out more than others, but just eavesdropping on random conversations to get those little nuggets to work out other ways to go about your time. Like, I don't want to spoil the plot or anything, but I think we could probably mention the sheer amount of creative ways that you can assassinate somebody. You know, that's something that this franchise is known for. And you mentioned the golfing thing earlier. Did you go past one of the maintenance people on the phone, and she was talking to her friend about how she made these explosive golf balls? So I found the explosive golf ball, snuck it into this guy's golf collection, and then he likes to go up to the I don't know, the penthouse driving range or whatever you want to call it, and tee off and vent some frustration. And so he tees off with one of these explosive balls, assassination successful. So you can get rid of people in a host of creative ways and fun ways and entertaining ways. You could just go YOLO and walk in and shoot them with your gun if you like to. But
I never thought about doing that, by the way. Not once. I never thought about it. And then I was going through some of the achievements, and it's like, shoot the target. I'm like,
yeah,
why didn't I ever think of that? I'm holding a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cheapest way to do it, obviously. And with that also, then the alarm levels seem to just skyrocket to 1,000, and you're hunted, and you've got to be as stealthy as you can to get out, and you're engaging in a lot of combat. And when you are in combat, it can be tough. Like, it's not the most fluid combat systems. It's more so designed off stealth, and the movement and the controls, it is a little bit boxy. It's a bit tanky. Like,
yeah,
you're not agile. You're turning circles and stuff. Like, you're not really turning on a dime. It's more so you're just walking calculated, planning your steps out, as opposed to being this agile ninja warrior. But I think that adds to the tension as well when you are trying to be incognito through these parts, and you see the little yellow like suspicion bar pop up, and you're like, oh shit, someone's looking at me, gotta get around this corner or hide in here, like, and you're just casually just walking through as Agent 47, and like it's tense, and it adds some great little moment to moment situations.
Is it bad if the camera finds you? Because like so many times I walk through a camera, it's like, you've been located on a camera. I'm like, okay, but what has that done? No one's after me. Like,
yeah, I had a couple of times that occur, but for some reason I must have like my security room just sensors naturally seem to always pull me past one of the security officers, so I could always turn off the cameras somehow. Like, I found it in so many of the missions just randomly. Like not actively seeking it out. I'd just be cruising around like, oh, security office, pop in there, turn this off, do that, check that info, and then keep going. So yeah, there's so much to do outside of just killing the person. Like, all the bits of information you can find in the game, and the like you can use anything just about in the world as a weapon. Like, I knocked out a person with a soda can. I knocked out some people with a hat. Like, I don't know how it didn't kill them, but I passively knocked these people out when I hit them in the temple with a hammer. But because I thought I had the can in my hand still, but actually had the hammer from what I picked up like 20 seconds earlier. But no, right in the middle of the skull, and they were just unconscious. They weren't dead, which was lucky, because I'm trying to do like a zero kill playthrough outside of the main assassination targets, obviously. So I'm just like just knocking out everybody as I can along the way, as opposed to killing them in very creative ways.
I didn't kill anyone, but then it kept on telling me, like, you have 2 unconscious witnesses, and I'm like, yeah I know, but they're sleeping. Like is this bad? Like,
just chuck them in a box somewhere or in a cupboard, and you'll be right.
I had to put them in the corner, like, because like there was nowhere to stash them, so I just kind of like pushed them in the darkest corner, and no one found them, which was fine. But there's just like so many little things, like, where I feel like I kept on getting found out for the most stupidest reasons or whatever. But like, the creativity on how you can kill people, like, I am at the very start of figuring out what I can do, but I kept on picking up fruit. I picked up a coconut. I'm like, please let me use this. I want to be able to use this freaking coconut.
I hit someone with a banana.
Oh, I found the banana too, but I didn't, it got to a stage where like I got maybe too scared of being found out. Like, I'm like, there's just too many options. So I feel like I took a lot of easy ways out. Like, I used poison, and I dropped like something mechanical. So I feel like I took some of the easy way out. So I'm looking forward to being more creative. I do like that end screen that's like, you know, tick off of the things that you did. So I like that it's giving me an option to be like, yeah, okay, now you've done it once, do it again and try and unlock these as well. So I like that. I like that they've added, well, that they have that kind of element to it. So
yeah, the replayability on these levels is one of the strong suits, I think, with this franchise, is that, yeah, you might have got from point A to point B and killed this person, but go back and try and do it in another 24 different ways to get the achievement and get all those check marks done. So that's really cool. My favorite mission, I won't sort of go into the details of it, but there's a mission where you're in like a big, massive, like 24-hour German rave, and there's just people everywhere. And it's a really cool sort of change on it, because some of the targets are obviously on the dance floor and whatnot, and trying to work out how to get rid of these people when you're sardine canned in with all these other ravers at, like, I don't know, some ungodly hour is really cool. Like, it changes up the dynamic from like the hoity-toity English manner that you do in the second mission, and obviously running around in Dubai in the first mission. It's a nice contrast, but yeah, it's such a cool world. Agent 47's just a dude.
His voice doesn't match his look. I'm going to say that. It throws me off every time he talks. I'm like, I'm not seeing it connect. It just, in my brain, it just doesn't seem like the right voice to the right body, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I get that too. They probably could have just maybe got Timothy Oliphant to voice him. Like, he was in the movie. He was in the Hitman movie, which actually wasn't too bad a film as far as video game adaptations.
Usually shits on that one, I'm pretty certain. Everyone that usually talks about it.
No, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. But I've also got like rose-colored glasses on for anything that old Oliphant does too. So maybe he gets like a +2 in Man Crush that adds to the score of the film. But yeah, it's awesome. It's really fun. It's very unlike most of the other games that are out or coming out soon. So it is a very different style of game to play through. And the fact that, there is only sort of 6 missions, but they're very focused. And, a mission could take you 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on how crazy you want to be running around,
an hour
working
and 20
out this
minutes.
Universe. Yeah, like it can get tough as far as how you want to get from point A to point B. And I love what IO have done. And yeah, it's going to be one of the best games, I think, come the end of this year, as far as reviews and talking about it. And it's already a lot of positive light. Like, I think most of the scores are 9s out of 10s and things like that. So it seems to be a good ending to this franchise. And obviously IO now they're jumping on to James Bond game. Yeah. So I'd say we'll see a lot of these mechanics and styles translate to that world as well. It's just going to be Agent 47 with hair and drinking cocktails. So, but yeah, it's really cool. Well recommended if you've got some spare cash. If you want to pick up a copy. It looks gorgeous on new gen. Mm-hmm. I was constantly amazed by just the ray tracing, seeing just how the light bounces off and plays in a scene, and
definitely
it's so cool.
Yeah, I was doing a bunch of like little artsy camera pans in certain moments just because it looked so nice. So
yeah. One thing that frustrated me though, especially on that first mission, is all the outside window washer motorized scaffolds. None of them were working. It's like, couldn't I just jump on this and go right to the top? They're everywhere outside, and yeah, you can't move on at all. You got a special camera that can hack things. It's like, can't I hack the motor of this then to move it up? Nope, you can't.
Didn't like that there were certain levels where I could be hanging off the edge and he wouldn't drop. I'm like, I would do it. Like, you're not that far off the ground. Drop, you asshole. But, whatever.
Yeah. Bit of a sissy. Bit of a sissy boy. And another game that I've been playing, courtesy of Xbox Game Pass, made by Bloober Team, obviously Xbox or Microsoft exclusive, talking about The Medium. It's getting some mixed reviews out there, and I can understand why. I'm enjoying it, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not here to poo-poo on it. I haven't finished it yet. I think I'm about 5 hours in or so. It's from what I hear, it's maybe about an 8 to 9 hour runtime. So I'm deep enough. I really like it. I think what I enjoy about this game the most is sort of the nods to old Silent Hill, like especially with sort of the dual reality and things like that. It's very much like the original Silent Hill game, so it's got this nice, real eerie, uncomfortable ambiance about it. The two worlds, the real and the spirit world that you navigate, whether it be individually, sometimes simultaneously, where it'll give you the split screen and you can see what's happening in the real world and then what's happening in this decrepit hotel you're running around in, is really cool. Graphically, it's awesome. The sound is great. Troy Baker does really well in his role. Very, very eerie, very unnerving. It's got a real classic horror vibe to it, this game, but it's sort of taken some of the liberties from a lot of these current day horrors where there's no combat. It's hiding and trying to outsmart your enemy and puzzles and stuff like that. So there's no medium powers, you're not shooting mind bullets out of your head or whatever it is. It's a lot of trying to outsmart the enemy in front of you and get around it. So I like that. I like that feeling of helplessness in a horror game, because you're already on edge playing a good horror game, but when you can't attack and you've got to hide or try and slink your way around enemies, it just adds this extra layer of like tense and atmosphere over yourself, which I'm all about.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than confront them. Yeah,
it's true. So you sort of indirectly confront some enemies just by skulking around and using the environment and solving puzzles, like sort of in that vein of old Resident Evil games and Silent Hill games. There's a lot of cool puzzles that you've got to work your way through, and they use in certain areas as well, like the old sort of fixed Resident Evil fixed cameras. So you're going into an area and the camera's locked and you've just got to navigate that space to try and work your way through and get Marianne through. She does have some powers, but I won't talk about what they are without spoilers. But you've got this inside ability that sort of, if you want to compare it to like the detective mode or the detective vision from like the Batman Arkham games, sort of like that, to help you solve your way through. But I'm digging it. Like, I love a good horror game, and I love the old survival horror games, and that's what this game is, in a sense, just lacking maybe some of the polish from those games. Like, it's done well. The mood is great. It's got a really cool score, which is actually done by Akira Yamaoka, I think you pronounce it, who actually scored the original Silent Hill games. So you can sort of see that continuity from that sort of sound into this vibe. The hotel, like the dilapidation and just this rundown, busted ass place, has got a really cool mood, and it encompasses, I guess, all the bad stuff that's happened in these walls. It's really, really great in that aspect. Aesthetically, it's gorgeous. The sound's great. The movement is a little bit old tanky, like in those old throwbacks. So it's kind of cool that it scratched this nostalgia itch in a way, even though it is a new release game. It just doesn't have some of the polish that I guess I was hoping for. Like, it's maybe a 5.5 to 6 out of 10, maybe. Like, I'm enjoying it.
That's pretty low for like how content you sounded with it. So
yeah, I think yeah. I'd say a 6-ish, maybe 6.5. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh. Like, thinking about it, like, I've only been playing it last sort of day or two, but I've been enjoying it. So maybe I'm being a little bit aggressive on that score. Let's go like a 6.5. I think that's probably more in line with where my heart's telling me. But yeah, cool creatures, cool ghosts, cool themes, decent characters. Nothing sort of feels too watered down. It's got some huge moment-to-moment situations in the game. The voice acting's great. The soundtrack's great. So yeah, maybe I'm being too mean. Maybe I need another coffee to pep myself up a little bit. But
possibly. Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool. It's sort of like a reimagining of the old classics, but just lacking a couple of things to maybe push it over the edge. But I'm digging it. I think you might enjoy it. I know you're not huge on the horror games and you get a bit scared, but maybe give it a look. maybe give it a
I
look.
mean, it's on Game Pass, so I can afford to give it a look. At least give it a try.
Yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, Bloober team are doing well. Like, obviously, they did the Layer of Fears game and Observer and stuff like that. So shifting from those games to the third person, it seems to have worked for them, and it seems that they've got a potential cool franchise here that they could have some fun with in the future. But yeah, I'm digging it. Yeah, disregard my 5.5. let's go with a good 6.5. I'm feeling upon immediate reflection. So no, I think that's a good score.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, no, I just love a good horror game, and this game's what was the metric we used for the movies? Was it just okay? It's okay. Was that the metric we used for?
Yeah. So for Wonder Woman, where it's like it's passable, like it's good for one watch. So I guess you could say this game is good for one playthrough. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, like it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's the metric. It's fine. And yeah, just we're starved of a lot of horror games or a lot of good
really
horror
are.
games made with a big budget. And this one, there seems to be a lot of love and care from Bloober team involved, and it's nice to see not only Xbox get an exclusive that is pretty good. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's a 6.5. Disregard my other score. It's a 6.5. Scrap the 5.5 I said, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's got a really cool mood and really good vibe to it. It's the vibe. It's Marbo. It's Marbo, baby. All right, but that's what we've been up to. Unless there's anything else you want to highlight, anything you've been watching or else you've been playing or doing.
No, still just chugging through Breaking Bad.
Hell yeah! Where are you up to?
We just finished season 3, so yeah. It's like for everyone who messaged me on Twitter when I said I was going to start watching it, and you all said, you know, you're lucky you get to experience it for the first time. It's amazing. You're going to love it. I even got a really good bit of advice of like, I know that there's going to be some slow areas. Just push through it. Trust me. That's good advice to me. Someone knew me very well, because if things go slow, I usually do like kind of back out. But yeah, like this show has been amazing. I love it. I can see why it gets, you know.
Oh yeah.
Everyone loves it, so I can see why.
Bryan Cranston as Walter White is just it's the best role that he's ever played. Like maybe some people have got a bit of adoration to him as the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, but you know, seeing him in these dramatic turns, like he is so great in this role, and it's one of the best television series of all time.
Yeah,
in my opinion, and no doubt many others.
It was actually Jesse was the one where it was I'm looking at him, I'm like, what have I seen him in? Like, I know I've recognized him from something, and I was looking at what he'd been in and what he'd been in since, and I'm like, what is it? He was in a Korn music video. That's
really?
where I recognized him from.
Wow.
Yeah. Thoughtless. One of the more albums that people don't like of Korn, but I actually liked that song. And yeah, so he's in the music video for Thoughtless by Korn. And yeah.
Wow. I did not expect that, but like, then immediately thinking about him, like, yeah, he looked like he'd be in a Korn.
Yeah,
film.
he looks like he'd totally be in
That's not a shot, but like, yeah.
He's not shut. I still like Korn.
Yeah, they're still kicking around.
Yeah.
Still kicking. Jonathan Davies and co. still making traumatic new metal about, you know, childhood experiences and all that kind of stuff in their 40s. Yeah? Mid-late 40s now?
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Yeah. I love them. Back in the 90s, early 2000s turn, they were one of the bands. Everyone was all about Korn. Everyone was all about that Follow the Leader album.
They have to get some credit. They were a band that were playing a mainstream traditional sound, but they made it. They made it into the mainstream, and it's a big deal. It's a lot of credit to them.
Yeah, them and Limp Bizkit broke through into that mainstream, and were on the ARIA charts and, you know, the Billboard charts and stuff with that Significant Other album and the Follow the Leader album. They were popping off.
Exactly.
Speaking of popping off, be sure to head on over to ko-fi.com/weare8bit, because that little community there is growing nice and steadily. So thank you for everyone that has jumped in and supported us over there already. If you haven't, that's fine. If you'd like to, that's also fine. But when you're doing that, obviously you're going to get access to a heap of exclusive perks. You're going to get early access to several of the mainstream 8-bit podcasts, as well as access to the Is This Thing On podcast, which is a podcast, sort of the show before the show, in essence. So before we officially go live on a Hungry Gamers or what have you, we're going to hit record beforehand and just riff and see what comes out of it. It's unscripted. It's just sort of free-form discussion about whatever, whenever, however, and it's only living on ko-fi.com/we-are8bit. It's never going to be released on those mainstream podcast RSS feeds, so if you want to be listening to that, be sure to subscribe to us over there. The 8-bit family portrait for 2021 has officially commenced. This year's theme, obviously, is Star Wars. So if you wanted to get yourself immortalized as your favorite, or maybe least favorite Star Wars character, just
Maybe
for
not
shits
your
and giggles.
favorite. Maybe your favorite doesn't fit too well.
Yeah, maybe. But if you want to have some fun and become your own version of Jabba the Hutt or Chewbacca, we can do that for you. $50 Australian, singular cost. And you'll get yourself an individual avatar of yourself sort of blended with this character of choice. And then once the group shot is finished at the back end of the year, you'll get the finalized group shot. We can obviously give you the in progress to where it is once your avatar is done, but I think it's probably best to wait till it's all filled and populated by the end of the year. So if you want to get in on that, ko-fi.com/we-are8bit and just check out the commissions tab in there. On that front as well, we've also got our 8-bit Founders coins live on there too, and that is a coin that once they're sold out or distributed, that is it. We're not going to re-release these. These are a very exclusive Founders coin. The proof that we received looks phenomenal. They're actually going into print or press, I think, today or tomorrow, so we'll have them back in our hot little hands in the next couple of weeks. And once we get the photos of the finished coin, we'll share those around. But you can get one of those shipped to you anywhere in the world for the low price of around $25. Do you think that's a fair price?
I think it's a fair price for
coin, 25 buckaroos.
A little bit of 8-bit limited edition exclusivity. Yeah, something you can hold on to.
This is the start of our currency taking over the world. If GameStop and things can do it. The 8-bit coin, yeah, 8-bit coin. It's there's hope for us yet. We just need to get a notable celebrity to get on board and put it in their Twitter bio or share it. So we'll have to pull our resources to see who we know that's got some
celebrities.
Yeah.
Can we interest you in some 8-bit coin?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 8-bit coin. What are you selling? 8-bit coin, baby. So yeah, get in on those. We will have some more commissions dropping throughout the year with exclusive merch. On the topic of merch, obviously shop8bit.net to check out our new sexy merch store. Obviously, we mentioned a few weeks ago, it's going more sort of a streetwear, general fashion as opposed to just those generic gaming shirts, just to break it up a little bit. That way you can wear this to a date. You could maybe wear it to work. You could wear it in the streets. You could wear it in the sheets. You could wear this wherever you like. And look and feel good with some exclusive 8-bit swagger. So, check that out. And once you're done checking that, obviously be sure to rate, review, subscribe us, as well as all the podcasts from the 8-bit Podcast Network, or the other podcasts you just listen to on the Reg, because those ratings and reviews help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts, means an awful lot, costs you nothing apart from a little bit of time. And yeah, just makes the world a better place, lift those up around you. Share the love, pay it forward, all that kind of stuff. But let's get moving. Now, Miss Hart, have you ever wondered how Agent 47 keeps that body of his sleek and hairless like a sexy stealth missile?
Have I?
Well, the Perfect Package 3.0 kit by Manscaped is how, Miss Hart. Everyone's favourite assassin works closely with the purveyors of perfect pubic hair, and it all starts with the Lawnmower 3.0. Is complete with a patented ceramic blade and advanced skin-safe technology. This thing is like wielding a garrote, and your crotch fro won't even hear you coming.
It also comes with an assortment of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Some of these liquid tools for your family jewels includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing deodorant that will keep you incognito in the tensest of situations. This is a total game changer that allows you to take down your target in a host of ways while staying cool, calm, and collected. Next up is the Crop Reviver, a spray-on ball toner that adds a nice layer of sheen and protection for your famous barcode. The perfect package also comes with a handy travel bag, disposable shaving mats to hide that unconscious odor that you just stripped naked, and a set of the comfiest anti-chafing boxes you have ever worn. This is a perfect package for your perfect package.
And listeners, you can get 20% off and free shipping using the code 8bit at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code ATEBIT. Remember, people, nobody wants a dirty, dusty, broken phallic controller.
This week's news headlines.
Miss Hart gets Sonic a strepsil because he has lost his voice. Yes, that's right. Roger Craig Smith's stint as Sonic the Hedgehog seems to be over, at least according to a slightly vague Twitter post. Earlier this week, Smith tweeted, 10 years has been an amazing run, adding some blue hearts and hedgehog emojis to give a little hint as to what the post was about. Much love to the fans who've been so kind. It's been an honor. Onward to new zones. So Roger Craig Smith, he's out of here. He's got to go fast somewhere else, maybe to the unemployment line, because Sonic and Sega are done.
He's a Batman voice, isn't he?
I think he does a Batman voice. He does a lot of voices. Like, he's not short of roles and opportunities. But,
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he's in the unemployment line yet. He actually posted something today, being Friday, just saying thank you to all the love that he actually received after doing that post. I'm curious who the new voice of Sonic will be. Do you reckon they'll be going for the voice of the Sonic in the movies now? Is it Ben Schwartz?
I think so. It makes sense. That way you've got continuity between the first movie, the sequel that's getting worked on, the impending Sonic the Hedgehog games and crossovers. Having that same recognition through the entire world would make sense. Would make sense to me.
Because he does voices on DuckTales, so he's very familiar with voicing cartoon characters and whatnot, and obviously doing the character in the movie. So I guess, yeah, maybe he's been given the role full time.
Yeah,
I guess
he's the be all and end all of all things Sonic. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Sonic and Jim Carrey and James Marsden in the inevitable Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. And yeah, onwards and upwards, Roger Craig Smith. We wish you well, and yeah, no doubt it's not going to be the last we see or hear of him. And yeah, Sonic is going to be around until we're all long since dead. But yeah,
morbid.
It's not a bad thing. You love Sonic. He's your boy.
He's mine. He's the one I grew up with. No plumber.
No plumber.
No plumber for me.
Wouldn't surprise me if this next company owns an assortment of plumbing paraphernalia. Chinese tech company Tencent continues to increase their gaming reach. This time it sees them investing 30 million euros into the French studio behind Life is Strange and Tell Me Why. We're talking about Don't Nod. This wave of funding is to help it realize its, in quotes, self-publishing ambitions. As part of the deal, Tencent will be able to fill a seat on Don't Nod's board of directors. And here's a quote from the Don't Nod CEO. "We are delighted to welcome Tencent as a Don't Nod investor," Chairman Oscar Gilbert said. "This is a real expression of trust from a key online game leader, which is behind a number of success stories and has invested in several leading companies in the video game industry. Through this partnership, Don't Nod is perfectly positioned to take advantage of the various growth drivers in the video game industry, in particular in China and on mobile platforms, in cooperation with an industry leader. The capital increase announced earlier this week will enable us to step up and boost the rollout of our development plan, which aims to capture more value from our original creations by self-publishing more games," end quote. So, it's awesome. I'm always happy to see smaller or independent studios find their footing and get more exposure and have more freedom to build these worlds and characters and titles that they like. But Tencent, like, you know, they're involved in everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't own half of me by now. Like, you know, they are one of the biggest companies in the world, and they are just, you know, they've got their fingers in every single pie. So yeah, that's like a bit, but at the same time, it's cool to see Don't Nod getting a bit more cash and hopefully add a bit more polish. Like Life is Strange and Tell Me Why and those games, they're great from a narrative and character acting point of view, but the worlds themselves aren't always the highest level of detail. The character models don't always look, I guess, as awesome as they could. So maybe this chunk of cash, as well as another portion they got from this wave of funding, might take these experiences to another level.
I'm like you said, I'm always for like certain companies being like, you know, under the care of a higher earner and, you know, being able to receive, I guess, some level of stability in the industry. But Tencent is notorious for being in the news for, you know, bad behaviors, bad practices, and dodgy kind of situations and whatnot. So it's kind of interesting that Don't Nod with the game franchises that they have, which are very, you know, very wholesome and very grounded, working with a group like Tencent. It just threw me off a little bit. But I mean, as long as they've got the security that they need and they don't get, I guess, tainted by any of the, you know, possible future issues that, you know, comes the way of Tencent, then I mean, more power to them, I guess.
Yeah, like it'd be interesting to see how it plays out, and I'd say Don't Nod for the most part will just keep doing their thing, working autonomously, just with a bit of Chinese influence in the back end. But you know, talking about breaking into the Chinese market and mobile platforms, that's obviously Tencent's biggest strengths. Yeah. So it could lead to more eyes and experiences on their products and IP. So it could be a win-win. But yeah, Tencent's got, as you said, such like a dirty name out there, the things they do and or things they're not doing, and yeah, it's just the rich getting richer, really. You know, they cannibalize a lot of the market. They buy up so many studios or buy portions of so many studios and gaming and tech companies. It's insane. Like you look at the list of things that they've got partial ownership or stake in, and they're in everything. It's insane. It is insane. But yeah, hopefully it all goes well for Don't Nod. So, Miss Hart, would you like to toss a coin to your Witcher while doing 200 kilometers an hour down the M1? Well, you can. Okay. That dream will soon become a reality thanks to Tesla's soon-to-be-released refreshed versions of the Model S and X. Following on from those fantastic Xbox naming conventions there. I love it, Tesla, even though the Tesla models, they were out for a while. Both models shall be equipped with gaming hardware supporting up to 10 teraflops of processing power, which theoretically puts these cars within the ballpark of a new generation console. For example, the PlayStation 5 is around 10.25 teraflops in power. The new Model S and X are fitted with hardware to power Tesla Arcade, an in-car gaming system that is already available in current Tesla models. The difference is that previous models are only able to run less demanding games such as Cuphead and Cat Quest, second one I've never heard of, while the promotional materials for the new Tesla models show The Witcher 3 displayed on the 17-inch central console. This suggests a significant step up for the car's gaming potential. Righto. Elon Musk. I'm not complaining, but righto, what are you doing?
He's a bit of a quack. Didn't he also mention that you can play Cyberpunk?
He did.
I'm almost certain he said you can play Cyberpunk. He's actually said a few mean things about like the game crashing and stuff like that, where I think he said the game can crash before your car crashes or something like that. So whoa. Yeah. These the playing games in a Tesla, I get it, and then I also don't get it. You are paying for a novelty. Like the Tesla can be quite the novelty car. The things that he throws in there, like he's just a big dork, and he's obviously every time he does it, he just says, "Why the hell not?" and he does it. So, I mean, I wouldn't be angry at it if I had a Tesla and he's like, now you can play video games in it. I'm like, okay, cool. The Witcher though, on like a little screen, like the screen's not little, but it's like, I don't know.
Like it is sort of like two and a bit times the size of a Switch screen. So, I guess, but it's just, as you said, it's just Musk doing Musk things. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he incorporates his flamethrower technology into like the back mufflers. So when you hit the gas soon, it like shoots out fire out the back of the car or something. Like he's a full grown kid. And he's got that much money, he can just do whatever the hell he wants, whenever the hell he wants. And this is just another example of that. Like Tesla Arcade. Yeah, I want to play my game sometimes while I'm driving my car. Well, I can do it because I'm going to build this and put it in these cars.
Oh, so, FYI, like just so people know, you can't play the game while you're driving. Like it's usually when you're in like stationary, like you're in park.
That would lead to many accidents.
Many lawsuits.
Apologies for the misleading headline there, but I thought it was the best way to explain it in an incorrect way. All right, the next one, Tomb Raider and Chill. Netflix and production company Legendary are working on a Tomb Raider animated series. The announcement was made by the streaming giant on Twitter this week, with the series to focus on Lara Croft's adventures after the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy, which was released between 2013 and 2018. The series will be penned by Tasha Hua, who's also behind Netflix Witcher prequel Blood Origin. They will also act as executive producer alongside Jacob Robinson, president of animated focused production company Tractor Pants. Also joining as executive producers are the production company behind the Sonic the Hedgehog film. So, Tomb Raider animated series. Okay, like we also got a King Kong animated series announcement this week on Netflix as well. Also the debut of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, which just looks all kinds of bananas, but I'll still go to the cinemas and watch it because I'm a sucker. But Tomb Raider animated series, it could be kind of cool.
I mean,
you reckon? Are you in?
Could be. I guess it depends what kind of tone they go for, and also maybe how stylized it is. Like,
can you imagine if they went to like the OG PlayStation graphics and she's like
square
chested and all blocky and stuff like that? Like that would be phenomenal. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Yeah, I mean, like she's adventurer, treasure hunter, so femme Indiana Jones. So will it be gory? Will it be risky? Like Lara Croft has had a rough run in, trying to get her on the like big screen, small screen. Like the movies, personally, I don't feel did her justice when you had Angelina Jolie and then obviously the recent version, which I don't think got much of a great write-up.
It was the most recent one with Alicia Vikander playing Lara Croft. She did well in the role, and they pretty much just took liberties from the recent films, recent games, and chucked it in the film, and they executed some of it pretty well. But overall, it wasn't perfect, but it was fine. It was fine. I think that the most recent one was better than the Angelina Jolie ones. Like I think they probably get a pass just because everyone was obsessed with Jolie as Croft. Like I think
that was her time. That was
the
time of Jolie.
Yeah, so everyone just sort of gives it a little bit of a pass because everyone's just hypersexualized about these two characters coming together, So, but it could be cool. I'll watch it. Like, and tonally, like the most recent games have been a lot more grounded and gritty and dark. So, if it is a bit more of an adult themed animated show, I'd be keen to give it a spin.
Yeah, I think I would be more appreciative if it did go down a more adult route. I'd like it if there was like some kind of like mystery to it, like if they really went down like a mystery route. Throw some twists in there, but I mean, time will tell. They're boasting that this person's the same person that's working on The Witcher, Blood Origin, Blood Orange. But we still don't have much to show for that either. So yeah. Time will tell.
Yeah, it's just Netflix just getting everything getting chucked on the Netflix.
They're pretty horny right now, and I guess while everyone's home, might as well keep churning stuff out.
100%. And the next sort of game to screen adaptation news, Kevin Hart to star alongside Cate Blanchett in Borderlands. So yes, Kevin Hart is joining Borderlands in the cast of the film, a movie adaptation of the popular video game. obviously, for everyone that's played it. Hart will be playing Roland, a skilled ex-soldier turned mercenary in the Lionsgate film. Eli Roth, whose resume includes The House with a Clock in its Walls and Bruce Willis-led action thriller Death Wish, is directing Borderlands. I'm a bit upset they don't mention Hostel.
Yeah,
I think that is the Eli Roth film.
That's the first thing I think of when I think of Eli Roth. So to really just cancel out Hostel, maybe because of the content. Maybe they don't want
Hostel's
to
pretty hectic.
scare people
Pretty
away.
hectic.
Yeah, I love those movies though.
Yeah, me too. The first one. The second one, like, it's still okay, but the first one...
Are you kidding? I love the second one. It's so
They made me scared
badass.
to travel for a long time.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
like,
would
I'm never going anywhere by myself.
Never stay in a hostel. But yeah, sorry, the second one was still pretty badass. There was a baller move in that one. Oh, pun intended, I guess.
Yeah. There's some scenes in it like they don't shy away from showing the violence and the pain. It's not like where they cut to the facial expression of the serious pain. It's not you see
it.
Yeah, you see what's going on there. Yeah, peak Roth. Like The House with a Clock in its Walls. I actually really enjoyed that movie with Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. It had sort of some real like Goosebumps vibes to it. But I've never watched Death Wish. But yeah, he's directing Borderlands and he says he's thrilled to be working with Kevin. Borderlands is a different kind of role for him and we are excited to thrill audiences with a side of Kevin they've never seen before. He's going to be an amazing Roland. So does this mean they're going to try and take out what Kevin Hart does best, and that's sort of just the loud sort of comedy and, that kind of thing he does? Like, because I just pictured him playing the same sort of role he's done for Jumanji in this, but now they're saying it's going to be different, like they're going to try and dial him back.
I doubt it. And full disclosure, I just don't like Kevin Hart and things because he does just play the same character, like loud, angry, like, always going off about something, and it's the same thing, and it kind of like just rubs me the wrong way in a movie. So to see that he's going to be in this, I don't know, I guess they're pushing him as a mainline kind of character cast, so he's gonna probably be in it throughout the whole thing. Yep. Well, they've got 2 of, I guess, the 4 main roles filled, only 5, I guess, if you count Claptrap, and then we're going to see what's happening as far as who the main antagonist is going to be, if they're going to go with Handsome Jack or if they're going to go with someone else. Don't know. But yeah, Cate Blanchett and Kevin Hart are making their way to Pandora to hunt for some vaults. But anyway, let's move on. And no, Miss Hart, you may not cop a Johnny Silverhand in the back of a Rayfield Caliburn. Cyberpunk 2077 mod that allowed players to swap models and have sex with characters based on real-world likenesses, such as Keanu Reeves, has been removed. The mod let players swap characters into explicit sex scenes who usually shouldn't be there, such as Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silverhand and the game's antagonist, Adam Smasher. In a statement issued to Eurogamer, CD Projekt Red said that they broadly permit modders to tweak the game at will and have fun when it comes to the characters the studio has created for the game. But for the characters based on real people, the studio is taking a different stance. When it comes to models of real people whom we've asked to participate in the game, we kindly ask you to refrain from using them in any situation that might be found offensive if you don't have their explicit permission. Permission will have to be sought from the likeness, and in brackets, and other concerned parties before modders and players create or use these explicit mods, or else they will be taken down. CD Projekt Red clarified further, telling Eurogamer, our most important rule regarding user-generated content, game mods in particular, is that it can't be harmful towards others. In the case of model swaps, especially those that involve explicit situations, it can be perceived as such by the people who lent us in their appearance for the purpose of creating characters in Cyberpunk 2077. The model swap mod is no longer available, and clearly any future iterations of such mods will be promptly removed by the studio. Earlier this past week, CD Projekt Red began releasing official modding tools for the community to tinker with, and no sexy mods, no sleeping with Keanu. It's not happening, not allowed. I just had to laugh because of where the article was going. It was like, don't try to sleep with Keanu because he didn't, obviously allow that experience. He didn't lend himself to that. But then they just decided to also add Adam Smasher in there. And I'm like, who's modding so you can, smash Adam Smasher? I mean, each to their own, but
Yeah, he's a very, very intimidating character. Like, and I don't know how much sexy time will be going on with him because mostly he's made out of machinery.
Yeah,
So
just the face.
someone's getting hurt. Whether you're the top or the bottom, you're going to be copping pain. Like, it would not be a pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
Such a great introduction to him.
Yeah.
Like,
I was kind of like irked when that happened, but anyway. I also
very creepy.
I appreciate CD Projekt Red doing this because people like Ellen Page, or they had the experience where what was the game that they were in?
Not heavy rain.
It wasn't Heavy Rain. It was maybe the one after it. But either
what was the
way,
sequel
her
called?
character model, their character model was in there, and unfortunately, modders took advantage and made the character model naked and did pretty uncool things without getting the okay, and it was it was kind of frowned upon. It was modders can be a bit too liberal with certain mods, and they just think that if they can do it, they should do it without really thinking about how once it gets out there, it's very confronting. So
Beyond Two Souls was
that
the game
was it. Yeah,
that old Elliot Page was in.
yeah.
Like I understand it because when these actors sign up to lend their likeness and voices to these games, they don't sign up with the intention to then potentially be thrown into crazy situations like this. So
Yeah.
I understand. I completely get what CDPR are doing here. It's cool that they have opened up this modding tool functionality for the game. So we are going to see a lot of crazy, quirky things done to Night City and the characters within. But we're also seeing a lot of cool quality of life enhancements. Like there's improvements to the graphical universe. There's improvements to the customization you can do to your V and stuff like that. So there is some cool stuff starting to come out from these modding tools getting shared around with the community. But yeah, sadly, just no sexy time with the leads. You can sleep with everybody else, but just not Keanu and Adam Smasher and anyone else that has signed in as an official character. So no crazy tantric tank sex with Neo at the moment.
Tantric tank sex.
Yeah. Have you finished the game yet? Because that patch has got you working again, doesn't it? Or you haven't been back?
I haven't returned because the patch didn't do anything for a lot of my stuff. I went through it all and everything was still the same. And I'm like, but there's been another patch, right? So I've yet to check that. So
yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Too busy like making people naked in Hitman.
Yeah, too busy playing around with explosive golf balls. But the last bit of news, it's sort of nothing more than a little bit of strong hearsay and rumor mill, but it's pretty exciting. There's potentially a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game in development, and it's not attached to EA and or BioWare. So it's reportedly in the works, and it's not being developed by EA and BioWare, obviously the studio behind the original game. As reported by VGC, this latest rumor comes courtesy of credited Star Wars insider Bespin Bulletin, who spoke on a recent BOB, the podcast episode, about this project that is said to be in development outside of EA and that will, in quotes, never guess who the studio is that's making this game. We'll have a guess in a second. Amongst my digging, I heard that there is a Knights of the Old Republic project in development somewhere, Bespin Bulletin said. I talked to a couple of people and I also found out that Jason Schreier said that it's not with EA and we'll never guess who the studio is making the game. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier had previously spoken on a potential KOTOR project both on Reset Era and Twitter, and his words echo Bespin Bulletin's comments. Furthermore, Wushu Studios' Nate Nadja also took to Reset Era in response to this to say it's not as mysterious as you think. It's just not a household name most people are aware of. So, a bit of KOTOR, maybe back into these fantastic games. One of the classics from the OG Xbox days. I cannot wait to see what happens here. Some more Darth Revan action. I don't know where they're going to go with this, bringing maybe him into the mainstream canon. I don't know, but I'm excited. If you're gonna throw a dart at the studio that's making this game, who you got?
I don't like these like very ambiguous like comments and statements. Like, it's not a household name that you would be aware of, but it's not as mysterious as you think. Like, that just throws me around because then it's like it's obviously not one of the big ones, but you've heard it before. I don't know. Like, I honestly can't think about who they could be referencing to.
I'm gonna say Obsidian.
That's
where I'm gonna go. So, like, they're a big name. They're household, I think. You know, they've had success in the RPG worlds with the Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas and a host of other games. I'm gonna say Obsidian are making this just for the shits and giggles. They're a big studio, but not the same size as a BioWare and what have you. But they've got experience in building science fiction RPGs, so that's where I'm gonna say.
That's fair. I wonder graphically what route they're going to go. If they're going to go down, super realistic, trying their best to make, really detailed characters, or if they would go down like a semi cartoonish route, maybe, a la Clone Wars animated series style. But yeah, I honestly can't think who they might be alluding to, just because of how stupid the wording about it's not as mysterious, they're not a household name, but you are aware of them, blah blah blah. It's like, well, then who
so
the fuck
vague.
is it?
Yeah.
And maybe to you, like
yeah, it's exciting because KOTOR has some of the best Star Wars storytelling in any Star Wars game ever made. Like, there's some moments in that narrative that just blow you away. Like, I'm not saying anything more than that because they're games that you need to experience yourself. Yeah. And if we're getting a third one, holy guacamole. Or even if it's just a rebuild of the number one from the ground up and they're going to sort of try and relaunch the series for current gen, fucking hell yeah.
Like, yeah, the reason for anyone out there maybe doesn't understand the hype for these games, I know for me personally, these games were always a great leg into the Star Wars, universe that you couldn't access through, like, I guess if you weren't a book reader, I guess that was one way that you could, furthermore your education of the Star Wars universe. But outside of the movies, these games were always a great way to build up knowledge in the universe of Star Wars that was not just strictly set to the Star Wars movie universe. So that's why these games are pretty cool, pretty important, and they were just overall great games to play. So
100%. And it got you out of the mainline, Skywalker sagas. Like, this is set
Skywalker drama.
many years before all that. So it's kind of cool to sort of see what happened before Vader and co. So yeah, it's really exciting. So I'm keen. Like, this sounds like it's going to be a bit more of a long-term thing that's many years down the road, but it's still cool to hypothesize about what they're going to do and who's going to make it. But I'm throwing the dart, and I'm going to say Obsidian are behind this as my studio. So let's see if that comes true whenever we get some future announcements. You got to throw one in the hat in the ring. Come on.
No, I've got no one. I honestly have got no one. But isn't Obsidian currently working on a fantasy right now, a fantasy RPG?
Yes, they are. But maybe they're working on a few.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess there's no rule to say that they can't work on, multiple projects.
It's just weird, like, that not a household name most people are aware of. So that'd squash your rock stars and all the big line studios. But Obsidian is kind of a household name too. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stick with that for now. Too much pressure.
Tweet of the week.
And this tweet comes via way of Brittany Nichols at Brit Hilarious on them Twitters. And this just, I think it sums up nicely what's been happening with the stock market, which we sort of briefly talked on at the start. And the tweet says, drawing a straight line from the people that cornered the Animal Crossing turnip market to the game stockers. So, yes, we did have some pretty extensive discussion on the turnip market hustlers this time-ish last year, Nelly, when this was peak. Oh, Animal Crossing came out in March, right? So
yeah, a bit further down the line, but yeah.
Close, 10 months earlier. But yeah, just like, I don't even know how to begin to explain the GameStop situation. Like, there's so many cool tweet threads and even just Reddit threads explaining what these people on Reddit are doing and sort of unifying against the big corporate fat cats. But it's so cool to see because GameStop and even AMC, like there was fears that both of these companies were dead men walking for all intents and purposes and were potentially looking to file for bankruptcy, especially AMC. Like no one can go to the movies. And now with this Robin Hood-esque rallying, but not the Robin Hood stock market app, because that's in the shit too, because they closed it down and tried to restrict trade. Yeah, there's new life, and they're talking now about these companies that are going to prosper due to these rogue Redditors unifying and banding together to get these stock market prices back up and make these businesses a future success. But it's crazy, Miss Hart. It's been a crazy week in the trade world.
It's been interesting though, because like I myself have just learned a whole bunch of stuff about stock just because, I've wanted to kind of get a basic idea of how this started, why it happened, why is it apparently bad to the hedge funds and whatnot. So, we all learn something when these kind of situations happen. It's important to stay educated and informed though, because they are worried about some people who kind of just jumped in for the sake of it without actually understanding how stock markets work, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's been a very interesting week learning about it. And I did like this tweet. And there's been actually a few tweets that have kind of like linked it up saying, yes, it makes sense that people like gamers who were already familiar with a, turnip stock market in Animal Crossing and how they've used that to, then proceed to boost up the GameStop, stock. So I thought it was very funny.
It's great to see. And there's so many cool ways to explain it. I think my favorite one I had a chuckle about was talking about, like, I've retweeted a Taylor Swift comparison thread to how this all works and whatnot. And it was just cracking me up. But if you are getting in on this or stock trading or crypto or whatever, only put in what you can afford to lose. That's the biggest thing. Don't throw your entire life savings at these things without doing your due diligence and ensuring that you're going to be okay if this thing goes belly up, because there's a lot of risk in this type of stuff. And that's why some people do it, because there is that thrill of playing right to the knife's edge and then getting out before shit collapses. And this stuff can change in an instant. So just be very careful with the money you're throwing in these situations, and whatever you're throwing in, just be willing to say goodbye to that money, because there's a chance it could stop and just plummet instantly 5 minutes afterwards, and you could be without that cash you just threw in there. So you just need to be aware and accepting that it could go south and probably will go south. So you just gotta, you got Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, know when to run, and that's something that I've been learning with my crypto experiences. That's for damn sure.
When you're sitting at the table.
It's one of the best. I love that song so much.
Song. I actually really adore that song.
Yeah, and it's got so many great little life lessons you can take away from just those lines alone. Like, be like Kenny Rogers, be like the gambler.
New releases and events.
All right, a smattering of releases coming out this coming calendar week. We're getting Neo 2 The Complete Collection, Neo 2 Remastered The Complete Collection. And then we're also getting the Neo Collection, all dropping at the February the 5th. We're getting Kinetic Edge on the PC on February the 5th as well. Werewolf, The Apocalypse, Earthblood, just rolls off the tongue, coming out on February the 4th on every platform. Blue Fire on the Switch and PC on February the 4th. And then on February the 2nd, the sort of enhanced edition of Control for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S. And Destruction All-Stars on the PlayStation 5, one of the announced launch exclusives that I actually bought, and then they pivoted and said, it's actually going to be free via PS Plus. Managed to obviously cancel my pre-order, get all my money back, so that's okay. But that's coming out on February the 2nd. Free PlayStation 5 exclusive title. The fact they're giving it away for free, I don't have the highest of hopes for that little ditty, but yeah. Couple of games that, what were old is now new in Neo 2 and Control, and then a couple other games. There's nothing I'll be throwing some cash out this week, because I'm going to get the Medium finished. I'm going to maybe play a bit of League of Legends with you maybe this week.
Yes. I've been kind of, poked dabbed, hit over the head with a brick by NATO about playing LOL. So, but full disclosure, he's, going out there and taking the time to teach us all and take us under his wing. So I do appreciate that. I've only recently just figured out that you can only download it off the Riot launcher or something. So because I was like looking for it on Steam, I was looking for it. Like, where's this damn game? It's so popular. But yeah.
Just make sure once you've downloaded it, when you're setting up your profile, just make sure you set it as OCE, not North America.
Yes.
I know you'd naturally probably go NA now because you're over there, but there's no cross pollination with those regions,
okay.
and mine automatically set me up as NA, and I couldn't play, so I had to delete the account and build a new one, and it's the whole thing. There's no
really
realm
cut you
transfers
out.
at the moment.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
you used to be able to transfer across the realms and the regions, but they've closed that down for now for I don't know what reasons, but yeah, no can do right now.
Yeah.
But Miss Hart, that brings us to the end of episode 226 of THG. Anything you want to say before we close down the studio for another week?
No, I think that's it. Everyone stay healthy, stay happy.
Yeah, that's true.
my
That's
message.
true. I was healthy debatably the past week or so. For anyone that's probably been following on my Instagram stories, if not, obviously at Brendan 8-Bit on them socials. The giant lemon meringue pie, I didn't finish it in time. I got down, there's maybe an eighth of the pie left come expiry date, and I just couldn't do it because that last day of quote unquote goodness of the pie on the expiry date itself, by then the crust didn't really have its crunchiness anymore. It was starting to get a bit soft and soggy, and I'm just like, you know what? It ain't worth it. Sorry, Roberto's fantastic pie, but I can't do it. So I had to.
A lot of pie.
It was every night I was having a slice, just chipping away, and it was delicious, but it was tough. I love lemon meringue pie, though. My God, it is one of my favorites.
It is so good. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to make, but it's rewarding. I freaking love it.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite desserts, and this one from Roberto's was phenomenal. Like, it's one of the best ones I've had in God knows how long. So shout out to those guys and girls baking behind the scenes. But yeah, one family pie could not do it in the week time frame. Sadly, it beat me, but maybe I'll get back on that horse again later this year. Take down a full pie or a full cake. But yeah, this has been episode 226. 8-Bit Nation, thanks for your support. See you next time. Much love!
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
I'm hungry now, but I'm not having pie for breakfast.
Why not?
I don't have any.
Oh.
But I'm going to have a Yoplait passion fruit smoothie yogurt thing. They're delicious.